Saturday morning, Butter Lake Farms. Trying to keep current on the situation here. As the weather improves, I should say the weather warms in Southern California, there's the danger of temperatures ruining the lettuce crop. Lettuce doesn't like warmer weather. So, lettuce is kind of picky. Lettuce doesn't like warmer weather, and then if it gets below frosting, then you get that. I don't mean cake frosting, but yeah. So we're testing. We're looking. Well, I wonder what that is. These are the infested plants. Really difficult to keep these plants clean. Do a little research and it says spray directly on the infestation, remove infested parts of the plant. So we're going to try that, hope for the best. This is the gear that my lovely people over at Sago Nursery in North Hollywood suggested that I use. The lady from Sago Nursery in North Hollywood, California, was nice enough to write down the measurements. It says half a tablespoon for 32 ounces. This is 32 ounces, so we're going to try a half a tablespoon. This cap looks like a teaspoon. Ooh, that looks very much like neem oil, which is what I prefer. But when I told the lady that I liked neem oil, she suggested that this stuff was more complete. It looks a lot like the neem oil I used to use. Can you see the consistency of that? I can't really tell. It's my understanding it is. And so it's more thick like tar. All right, I think I'm gonna put just a little bit more in. And I asked specifically whether I was supposed to add soap to help it emulsify. And that was not the case. So, crackers. Sprayed the living daylights out of it. It might even be earlier in this video. Sprayed the living daylights out of it, and now it looks clean. Thanks to the good people over at Sago Nursery in North Hollywood turned me onto this Fungicide 3, and then when I did the refill, I asked for neem oil, and she gave me neem oil. The east wall of plants seem to be thriving. Checking for the aphid infestation. That's a carrot. That's the carrot top. That used to be my nickname as a boy, was Carrot Top. I had beautiful red hair. Hey, that's a broccoli planted in a cloth pot next to a red cabbage. But they're lovely, aren't they? They sure are. Since that's a kale, this must be a Brussels sprout. One of the lovely things about the Sepulveda Garden Center is there are hoses everywhere, it feels like. You can actually set up drip irrigation as long as the timers for your drip irrigation are set to within the boundaries that the garden center proposes. I never see the guy next to me in his garden, and yet I see his timers going off at regular appropriate intervals. Okay, so we're going to try to spray this plant as directed and try to alleviate the infestation to the best of our ability. One of the things I've learned is that it's a good idea to keep the pots, the cloth pots, wet on their sides. Most years I've started my potatoes about this time of year. I'm uncertain as to whether I'm going to grow potatoes again. This morning we're going to try and fertilize the lettuces. I'm using a fish emulsifier type fertilizer for the leafy plants. It's the first number that helps the leafy plants. The middle number helps the fruiting plants. The middle number, hope you can see that. The middle number helps the tomatoes, broccolis, and such. It's weird when you plant in pots, when you water, it's really important to make certain that everything gets soaked, because the containers are so porous. The water runs right through and out of the bottom of the container, so you have to slowly make sure that it gets watered and then make certain that the sides of the container are soaked, so that during the heat of the day there is cooling and wicking that can take place, meaning the mud and dirt and plants will re-uptake the cool water that's permeated the sides of the container. Yeah, the sun really gets intense here in the San Fernando Valley. So I think having these buckets soaked through will probably do a good protection for the plants during the hot heat of the day. Even though the high may only be in the 70s, it still could be pretty intense when the sun just beats down. I'm hoping that you're able to see how robust that broccoli plant is. Smash that like button, leave a comment, tell me what I'm doing wrong, because this is a learning experience for me, and I seriously enjoy the gardening. I like watching animal videos more than the farming, but I do enjoy watching the plants grow food in my garden bed here at Sepulveda Garden Center. It's very enjoyable. Lovely plants, trees. Candace was buying persimmons from the store in Chicago, and there's a giant persimmon tree right here. I was unable to grab any because it's a little too far over the fence. And then what would I do with it anyway? Are you allowed to mail stuff like that to Chicago from LA? Persimmons? Could try it. Grapefruit trees, orange trees. And then back over here, you see the little greenhouse. There's also a little community table where people leave stuff for everyone to share. And today I picked up a couple of like 6-inch diameter, 1 foot high seedling buckets, which really helped me when it was tomato time last year. And as I understand, it's now time of year to start your tomato and pepper seedlings.